She's interviewing herself now.
Cut it.
She's out here being like, yeah, I hear my EP, and I was about to send. She's like, and should I talk more about my own?
You guys, I don't know how to be over here. I'm figuring that out right now.
Today on SlamCast, this episode is kind of a full circle moment. We're flipping the mic to Brea Scow, longtime host, artist, and community force at Slam Academy. She's passing on the host baton to our very own Haley. As she steps in to interview Brea for this next chapter.
You know her as an artist and the host who built this podcast from the ground up. But in this episode, we dig into her story.
Yep, Brea Scow's in the hot seat.
We get into her new EP, Slow Down, her journey from group projects to Ferry Boat, and how she's blending visuals, vocals, and a lot of personal growth into her music.
There's vulnerable talk about loss, Ableton, and even Loch Ness Monsters. It's a layered and honest conversation, and let's be frank, it's very, very Brea.
Also, it's a reminder of how art, stillness, and collaboration all feed each other.
All right, let's get into it. Aloha, guys. We're here with Brea Scow. Thank you for coming. As you could tell, she's on the other side of the table. What's going on, Brea?
I'm over here today.
Oh no!
I'm scared.
You're scared? You should look really scared. So we're excited to have our conversation with Brea. I don't know if we want to talk about this. I want to talk about why you're on that side of the table first, or if we want to just get into some music-y stuff right away.
I mean, we can start with why I'm over here. I feel like that's an important part of this episode. But yeah, Ferry Boat. I don't know, giving my introduction of my artistry to the SlamCast community, A. And then B, also passing the torch to the new host, Haley Diamond, who's going to be taking over my responsibilities in the SlamCast realm because I'm leaving Minneapolis for an unknown amount of time. And it is bittersweet. It's gonna be good though. I'm ready to like slow down with my life and make more, create more, focus less on what's going on.
Yeah, like
everywhere
the hustle
else.
and bustle of the
Yeah.
city and everything.
It's a lot.
Yeah.
So, and I respect the hustle. It's just there is a moment in time where I need to like take a step back from it all. And
Yeah.
You've been doing a lot, yo.
Yeah.
yeah.
This podcast and also just releasing a new album.
Mm-hmm.
Wow.
Yeah.
But actually, a new EP. Do you want to start? Let's talk about that for a little bit while we're in here.
Yay.
Some fun
Okay.
stuff.
Yeah.
Some creativity stuff because
Mhm.
the rest of the episode is going to be me crying. So no, but let's get into your EP. So you just
Yeah.
released an EP. What was the date of the EP drop?
So Ferry Boat just had their debut EP release on May 9th. It's called Slow Down. That's one of the title of the songs that's on the EP, but it's also the title of the EP because that is the general theme of it all. Just a lot of reflection and a lot of processing what I've been through in the last couple of years, where I want to go in the next couple of years. But yeah, I'm super proud of the project and I'm happy that it's out for everybody to listen to. So it's been like 2 years working on 4 songs and just really like dialing in on how I want everything to feel. So yeah. Do you want me to like talk about the process of like how that all came to be or what?
She's interviewing herself now.
Cut it.
She's out here being like, yeah, I hear my EP, and I was about to send. She's like, and should I talk more about my own shit?
You guys, I don't know how to be over here. I'm figuring that out right now.
Well, I guess I could start by asking, so I know that you started releasing music underneath your name,
Yeah.
kind of more as a solo artist, and then you transitioned to having like a full ensemble.
Mhm.
What was that transition period like for you?
Well, I guess like Brea Scow, that's my original alias. That's my name. So I just started there. And when I was releasing music under Brea Scow, I was honestly just trying to keep up with the pace of my friends who were releasing music like once a month, aka Dave Elk and Neil MacArthur releasing songs like every other fucking day. And I was like, shit, I need to like do this. This looks fun. So I started releasing music under my name because I didn't have like an alias that I really felt connected to at the time. So yeah, there's stuff on Spotify under my name, Brea Scow. But after the Dave Velk project ended, after Dave's unfortunate passing a couple years ago, just dealing with that transition of things, taking some time away from music in general was really nice. And then just kind of coming back to it, thinking, what do I want to do the next part of my music, since it's literally just going to be me now.
When you found the band, like when you were trying to put the band together, was there a moment where you had like, I want my ferry boat and I'm going to put the band together? Or did you like naturally, because I know you've been playing shows, with shout out to the band, John O'Connor, John Drummer John, that's what it says on my phone, and I was laughing. John Ross,
yep.
Nate and
Nathan Johnston.
You shouting them all out.
Nathan Johnson on bass, Hope Hook on violin, John Ross on drums, and John O'Conan on guitar, and like many other people that have subbed throughout that experience. But that all started because of the band that I was in with Dave and you, Loose Leaf.
Mm-hmm.
Majority of those people were already in Dave's band, and so I had been playing with them for 2 years already. And so after taking that couple months off, I was like, hey, do you guys want to like keep doing that and like maybe play my original tracks with me on stage? And a part of me felt really guilty about doing that because Dave had like started all of that. He booked all of our shows. He handled all of that stuff, like band practices, and coordinated all of that stuff and brought all of these amazing musicians together in the first place. So part of me was like, is this just weird if I just jump on that train and like just keep carrying on? But then the more people I talked to about that, they were like, dude, of course, like we want to keep playing music with you. So obviously, like, let's fucking do it. Like Dave would be so proud of all of us.
Yeah.
And so, yeah. And ferry boat, the name comes from my last name, Scow. After Googling, like, I don't know, everybody Googles what their name means. A couple years ago, I Googled it and was like, what does Scow mean? I don't know, to try to find some fucking meaning in life or whatever. And it said a fat bottom barge, which is a garbage barge, is what Google told me a couple years ago. And then I revisited that when I was trying to come up with a band name. What does Scow mean? For some reason, it changed it a little bit into a ferry boat, which is like Ferry, like I think it's like what you can take cars on. It's like a big shipping vessel that you can like transport people and big items, like just in general, like a ferry boat.
Cool.
So I thought that was cute, and then I just changed the spelling of fairy because it's kind of the aesthetic of the music that I write.
What would you consider the aesthetic of the music you write?
Like soft R&B, most of the stuff. Mm-hmm. There's some electronic stuff in there too, and some dark, creepy shit, which I really love to get on the creepy vibe of things. But I feel like Garbage Barge could be a good alter ego for that kind of stuff. Yeah. So I'm still like keeping that in the back of my head for Halloween shows or whatever. It could be fun at the time. But yeah, so I landed on ferry boat, and then after I found that name, it was basically off to the races and just like started branding that whole side of thing. Like, yeah, it was a cool transition. I learned a lot through like having to come up with my own brand, basically. Because before it was just somebody else was doing a lot of that work. But this was a lot on me. And ferry boat really just resonated. And people like it, so. And
I wanted to get back to the EP for just a second. So you have your bandmates, and then also you did have a producer help you put it all together.
Yes.
I know that you didn't produce; you just wrote the music. Mm-hmm. Not to say, you're a songwriter.
Yeah.
And so, like, how did you find Homie, and how was it like working with the producer and your band to create the 4 songs, because they're really good?
Yeah, so Tyler Ulbrich is the one who produced this EP. Super talented musician and just person in general. I met him through Slam. I met him maybe like when I first started coming to Slam. So in like 2021, when we first opened back up and we were throwing like member parties and stuff. Just randomly met him, and he was like, hey, I heard you sing. I make R&B music. Can I get your email and I'll send you some beats that I have? And so we exchanged information, and I think maybe like within the next year he had sent me some stuff. I can't really remember the timeline, but I think it was like a year we reconnected, and he sent me beats, and that's where the first song on the EP comes from. Leave a Message was just a beat that he had tossed my way one day, and I resonated with it so fucking hard. I was like, this is so great. And I think, that song we worked on for like over 2 years, because it was just he is a very busy person, and artists just are very busy people sometimes. We have a lot of shit going on. So it took us a while to like find the direction of where we were going, but we just hung out randomly and kept creating and writing. And he took on that producer role, which is like such a weight lifted off of a songwriter's shoulders. I do know how to produce and I can mix and I like try to master, but that's what I was doing with the Brea Scow project, was trying to do it all myself, because I was like, oh, I'm so independent. Like I can do everything myself. I don't need anybody. And I learned to produce throughout all of that. And, which is really empowering to have that, but to be able to sit back and write lyrics and think about the themes and the colors and where I want to record videos to promote this stuff and just the overall feeling of it, I was able to do that a lot more because of Tyler. And yeah, so he produced and made the beats of 2 tracks on the EP. There's 4 songs total. 2 of them are fully produced with just me and Tyler working on them. And then the other 2 are the full band that we brought into Tyler's studio in his basement and recorded all of the instruments there. Which I wanted both of those things on the EP because I do both. I have a band that I perform with live a lot, and then I also like to produce and find Foley samples to connect everything. So I was able to do so much more like fun things, I feel, with this project, which is, I feel like you can feel it in the music.
So would you say that working collaboratively like really opened up your ability to dive into your creative expression more intentionally?
Yeah, 100%. When you collaborate with people, I love collaborating because not all of the weight is on your shoulders. You have another person's ideas to bounce off of.
Yeah.
And if they're into the project like you are, they're also just taking it under their own wing and taking it how they want to do it too, and taking it farther than you could have imagined. So I really love that part of collaborating. And that's something that I miss with like working with Dave and Neil so much, is that there was just always somebody else there to bounce ideas off of it. And I was kind of nervous about that part of Ferry Boat because it is just me, but it's not actually just me. There was so many people that fucking helped with this project. There was, 8 of us total.
Yeah.
Which,
if you haven't seen them live, y'all, catch them.
yeah.
I think they have one more show after this thing drops, maybe 2.
Yeah, why don't you promote that really quick? Where are you playing next?
I think by the time this comes out, end of June, I will have one more show left in the middle of July. I know, but not forever. It's just, maybe for the year. So Ferry Boat has their last show of this year on July 12th at 331 Club. It'll be starting around 9 p.m., I believe. It's a Saturday night, so take off work if you need to and come and hang out with us because it's going to be a great night, honestly. We have Bobby Rethwish playing with us and Madame Blue. So
Bobby's playing?
Bobby's playing.
Beautiful.
Shout out Bobby.
Yeah.
Shout out Bobby.
It's going to be a great night.
He works at Acme, just to let the audience know.
Yeah, Acme is like a source of where all of this started for me too. So I got to shout out the Acme Comedy Club team and squad.
I wanted to ask, because I know this is probably a question that's going to go into like some deep lore, but I know that when you came into you moved to Minneapolis from a small town in Wisconsin.
Yeah.
Well,
I moved here from La Crosse, technically.
Okay.
But I'm from a small town in
From
Wisconsin.
a small town and lived in La Crosse. Sorry about that. And then,
no, you're good.
But then you moved into Minneapolis, and music wasn't like an avenue you even thought would be a thing. You just came up from singing, but you just got a job at it. But you weren't like deciding the music to be there right now, right?
Yeah.
What kind of brought you into like being a musician?
Acme. I'm meeting a bunch of musicians like right before the pandemic. I moved here from La Crosse to be a structural designer for an engineering firm because that's what I went to school for. And so I had like a classic office job when I first moved here. And I just wasn't finding a lot of friends at an engineering firm. Who would have thought? So I was like, I just need some like cool people to hang with, like grab a beer with after work and like just shoot the shit with. And so I decided to get a service industry job. I had never bartended or waitress before. So I was like, I don't know, this could be fun. And I applied at Acme and they hired me 3 months before the pandemic happened. And in that time, I was able to meet Neil. I was able to meet like Dave and Will and Nate.
Shout out Will and Nate, linking the guy, R.I.P.
Yes, they're still with us. It's just their band is, deceased.
These chords are from their deceased studio.
So I met like so many influential people to my music career at that time because I had just been singing for fun in my shower. I had done choir in high school, and I was in musicals and like show choir and an a cappella group and the whole fucking nine in my very small town, Wisconsin, and just kind of left that behind when I graduated high school because I was like, I'm not going to join like a community choir. Like I could, but that seems like
cool
a
for
lot. I don't know.
No,
Is that really what I want to be doing with my time? So I just kind of like let it be.
Cut to Brea back at home community choir next year.
Who knows? But yeah, so I like friended all of y'all on Facebook, but had no idea that you guys were making music or into that sort of thing at all because I didn't really get to know you within that 3 months. So when the pandemic happened, I spent like, I don't know, 6 to 9 months by myself in my studio apartment, just like baking and relaxing and drinking a lot of cider and hanging out, going to Menards by myself.
Non-alcoholic cider.
No, I was alcoholic. Yeah. And
Very
then
pandemic.
yeah, shout out to Sociable Cider before I even knew that what would have happened. And then I saw Dave Velk's post on on Facebook one day of just like, hey, I wrote some music. I need a female vocalist for this chorus. We could record at my friend's studio. Just want to hang out, see what happens. Anybody interested? And I commented because I was like, I don't know this dude. I like don't really know, but this sounds fun and I'm bored. I don't have any friends. So yeah, like I'm in. And he actually ended up going with somebody else at first, but that didn't work out. And so he texted me like a month later, like, hey, are you still into trying this? And I was like, fuck yeah. So I went over to our friend's studio, Linky and the guy. Will and Nate. Yeah, the Fridge Studio. What a vibe. What an era. And I sang the hook that he wrote, and everybody was just like, what the fuck? It was honestly such a great night. I remember it very vividly. And then, yeah, after that, Dave and I just kept writing music together. And I quit my office job eventually because it wasn't letting me express what I needed to at the time.
We got you drinking the sauce.
Yeah, dude. You put me onto that red pill or whatever the fuck, the blue pill. I can't remember which one it is.
We're in a red room, so
Yeah,
we can call it
Let's go with the red pill.
Whatever the good one is, we'll just say red right now.
Yeah.
And yeah, then I started like waitressing and bartending for 4 or 5 years and focused on the music. I don't even remember what the question was at this point. Honestly, I'm not gonna lie.
No, you're good. You're just it was a fluid. It was just asking how like you got into music when you moved back to Minneapolis.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
So that was it.
You answered it. Good job.
Well, I have a follow-up question for that. So
Yeah.
I know that you do visual art too, and that definitely influences you creatively. How much do you think your visual art practice still impacts your music creativity today? Are you still making visual art?
I am making visual art. I do a lot more these days than I did when I first started my music journey. I don't know. It was just more of like, oh, I'll just do this watercolor for fun before I found music. And then after I found music, I didn't do any visual art for like a couple years because I was so heavily focused on recording my own vocals, producing my own songs, making my own beats and mixing everything and then releasing that and trying to keep up with
It's a whole
that
learning
flow.
curve.
Yeah. And then I just like hung out with one of my aunts one night that was like, that's into crafts and shit. And it just reignited the spark of visual art.
Aunts are good for that.
Yeah. So I'm so grateful
Amazing.
for that night. And then after that, I was like, dude, I forgot I can just paint.
Yeah.
I forgot I can just like take a step away from music and also do this other thing that I really love. So then I started incorporating more of that kind of thing, and I got a iPad so I could do digital art, so it could work for my music as well. Because whatever I'm working on, I feel like it just all needs to work together because that's just who I am.
Yeah.
Like they're all different brackets of what is a part of me, but at the end of the day, it's all yeah.
Right? Yeah.
And I like the ebb and flow of taking a break from music and going outside and working on some art that I can actually like feel
Mm-hmm.
and be in the grass.
So
and
with you
stuff.
moving back to Wisconsin, I'm sure you're going to be spending a lot more time outside.
Yeah.
Where do you think that'll feed your creativity? Like, where do you think that'll take you with your music and your visual
I don't
art?
know. I think it'll make some more peaceful stuff and it'll just keep me on this train of what I'm already on.
Yeah.
If you listen to the new EP, you'll understand, but I just feel like it'll just expand from that point
Yeah.
because this EP is very like nature forward. It's got a lot of bird sounds in it and water, and we recorded 4 videos outside on the Minneapolis River Bottom Trail. Maybe those will be out by the time this episode is. I don't know.
We
I don't
recorded
really
them
have-
last October.
Literally October 2024. Just been like sitting on this gold
Oh
for
yeah,
so
it's
long.
so good.
I can't wait for people
Yes.
to see them.
Do you feel like a dragon with all the gold you're hoarding?
No,
Do dragons hold gold?
That's what they're known for. Is that they
Yeah.
sit in
Really?
abandoned castles and peak where they take all the gold and sit on top of it.
What the fuck? I didn't know this.
So ooh.
Some more lore.
Ooh.
So maybe Brea's like spirit. I guess is it right to say maybe Brea's animal is
Spirit
Dragon.
animal. I've always said my spirit animal is the Loch Ness Monster, so I feel like that's not far away.
No, it's just the water version.
I like to hide and be like reclusive and then just come out and people are like, what the fuck was that? Like with Dave and meeting him and singing, like I don't really, I'm pretty humble. But I
I've
don't
always
like,
thought-
just come out and be like, I'm an incredible singer and like I was born with this gift. Y'all want to hear it? I don't like,
Yes.
I don't portray myself that way, so I feel very Loch Ness Monster.
No, I remember the first time I heard you sing, I was like, oh my God.
Yeah.
You literally have the voice of an angel. So, like, you have every right.
Thanks.
Dave loved that.
Yeah.
He loved it so much.
Dude, he hyped me the fuck up. And
He
it was
did.
like everything I needed to be able to do it by myself. Cause I would have never been able to just be like, listen to this cool fucking song that I made. No.
Yeah. Community is so important for creatives.
Yeah.
It's unreal.
And the slam community too. Like, I don't know. This place has given me so much more than I could have ever imagined.
yeah.
From finding
Well,
out
let's
about
talk
it.
about how you got involved with Slam. When did you
Yeah.
start working here?
I started working here right after we opened, 2021 ? But I found this place through Neil.
Yeah,
That's when
we were actually coming here like when working with Dave. We were probably here all the pandemic.
That's literally
Yeah.
a reason
Yeah.
I quit my job is so I could spend the days here with you guys.
We were just in here locked in the
Nice.
studio.
Yeah.
Nice.
So yeah. It's
You-
like if you want to get good at music, lock yourself in a studio for 2 years. You'll at least be
Literally.
able to make a track.
Yeah, dude.
Literally.
Or at least be able the confidence to be like, my music's pretty good, you know?
Yeah. I'm so fortunate that I met you guys, and the first time being here and just seeing Ableton every day just was so breathtaking. I was like, I had never heard of people producing music. I mean, like, sure, it was like a thing people did. I didn't know what that meant.
Yeah.
I didn't know what Ableton was or like how to use GarageBand ever. I grew up with like some musicians who were doing that, but I never really was like, this is how you do this, and shown what these programs can do. So I just remember being like, what the fuck? I need to learn this yesterday. This looks so fun. And I just selfishly love hearing my own voice in headphones and being able to do that by myself in my room. I need to do that.
Yeah.
Mhm.
And so Neil was coming here and Dave throughout the pandemic when Slam was closed and the TAs were like all helping this place stay open through not having any enrollment by just like their own gift. I think you guys were like helping pay rent here and stuff, which was just like so incredible that this
Mhm.
community loves this place so much that we will help
Yeah.
Mhm.
like keep this place open. Or you will. You did.
Tried it.
Yeah,
It's
it
open.
And we
worked.
did.
Come
It
on,
worked.
check us out
Look at
at
it.
Brea.com.
And now
Yeah,
we
it
have a
worked.
fucking podcast.
Yeah, dude,
That's crazy.
We've been crushing it with that.
Yeah, and so I started here when we opened back up. I started taking the Ableton One course because that's just like a common place to start here. And I bought like studio equipment and the whole nine. With luckily I saved up for my office job at that time. And when they opened back up, I started as a TA here. So I worked every Friday. I don't know which. In the last year, I don't think I've worked Fridays. I think I
Yeah.
quit
I think
working
as soon
here.
as I started TAing or being a studio tech is right around the time you transitioned out, which is
Yeah.
why they brought me on.
Oh, cool.
Which is actually interesting.
And now full circle again. I stopped working here on Fridays because I wanted to get, the autographs, and paparazzi were just insane.
Flooding the door. So
Yeah.
there's like no more Fridays. We actually close on Fridays.
Yeah, we started closing.
So yeah, I quit because I needed more time to help Neil run this podcast. And now look at that.
Yeah. You're just creating space for more people to step into, which is amazing, honestly.
I mean, that's why I don't feel like super terrible about leaving and taking a step back, is because it's a full circle of somebody had to step away from their position because it led them some other direction. So I could come in here and do my thing for 5 years. And then now I'm just like continuing that. So somebody else has that opportunity as well, because this podcast has provided so much opportunity. I could have never imagined I would have been a podcast host for a year. That's crazy to me. I was terrified of talking to people. So yeah.
I'm just kidding.
It's going to be great, Haley.
I'm doing
Picture
great.
yourself a year
Yeah.
from now.
You're
Thanks,
crushing
guys.
it. I'm not gonna lie. I'm crushing.
Yeah.
No, so I was gonna even ask, because that's like, we don't have podcast hosts on here. How's it been like getting to host the podcast? How's the work behind the scenes? Like
Interesting. Like first time for all of this stuff. Setting up the back end with you for the first time ever running a podcast is a lot of work. And I guess it taught me so many things about my own artistry too, and managing and like contacting artists and finding out that like your favorite artists who are your heroes will just respond to you on their Instagram DMs about getting on a podcast that you're like amateurly running with your homie and at a school that you like work for. So it showed me that there's so much opportunity out there. You just have to kind of take the reins and ask for it or go get it.
Yeah.
So
nice.
yeah, I'm gonna miss this, but it is a lot of work.
Yeah.
So
guys, it's a lot of work.
It's a lot of work, yo.
Right now we have Haley's partner over there producing. We have Haley coming in. It takes two people to freaking report. It takes two people to replace this bad bitch right now.
Honestly.
We got this. But it's cool though. We're gonna keep it going, guys. It's gonna be great. I just want to say, you put in so much work, and like it was like really crazy watching you train Haley, because it felt like you're training someone for a job.
I know.
It literally felt like it was crazy.
Dude,
Wow,
that was
so
actually
professional.
wild. I was like, what
honestly,
the
I'm
fuck?
so honored to be able to step into the shoes that you have built from this, because I don't know if I could have started it from the bottom like this.
You could have, if you know, you can.
You're right.
You can do it.
I can't down myself, but I also recognize like the efforts that you guys have put in, which I think is huge.
Thank you.
Of course.
Yeah, it feels really cool to have accomplished a task like this, and starting a podcast from scratch and taking it a full year or more into that vibe. Like from Jade calling me and being like, hey, so I have this idea. Would you want to start a podcast with Neil? And I was like, what the fuck? We're going to call it SlamCast. And I was like, wow.
Such a genius name, honestly.
I think you came up with it,
I came up with it like 4 years ago.
Yeah.
Actually,
Oh my God.
Actually, when I first, like before the pandemic, I was like, I want to do a podcast. And I told Michaelton, actually, his episode just came out before this one. I told Michaelton like 4 or 5 years ago, I'm like, I'd love to do a podcast here. And he's like, that's a lot of work. Who's going to help you with that? And I'm like, oh no, you just put cameras up. And I thought it was easy. And then I'm like, now we're like a year in, and I'm like, damn.
Yeah,
it
dude,
is
we
the
worked for
job.
like 4 months before the first episode even came out.
Yeah,
It was a crazy amount of work at the beginning.
Just
So rewarding though.
Yeah, some of those combos are amazing. Shout out every other one of those combos. Go check them out.
Yeah.
They're so fun.
This is the 25th episode.
25? Hell yeah.
Mine is
Actually, it's the 26th.
Oh, really?
Yes.
Okay.
At least that's what I think.
26th. You're right. Yes.
Yeah, it is.
Yes.
So that's,
Yeah.
impressive. And
Mhm.
shout out to Neil as well, because you were there every step of the way too. Like we did it together.
Oh yeah, we couldn't have done it with I could not have done it without without you. It would have been hard as shit.
And such a cool reunion project for Neil and I too, because Neil and I literally spent like every day together for 3 years working on the Dave Velk project.
Yeah.
And when that ended, Neil and I hadn't worked together, like collaborated really in a lot of ways since then. And so this was just like such a great time to spend with like a really good friend of mine. And
Mm.
you know,
Or really make something sick.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The last couple episodes, we were crushing.
Dude.
Yeah, crushing.
We've been crushing it since day one, considering we had never done this before.
Oh yeah, sure.
Yeah.
And now, like, one of your
I will
main,
agree with that.
one of your main hustles is now podcasting.
Oh yeah, dude, need podcast consultation? DM me on Instagram. I got
Yeah.
you. Mhm.
Yeah.
I'm gonna start a podcast class at Slam as soon as we can get this shit viral. Let's go.
I mean, it's not a bad idea.
Yeah, no, shout out JB said if I ever can get some of these podcasts like just going viral or like whenever they look like there's something where someone could point at the podcast, he would set up a class for me, maybe even a month.
So share this episode, everybody. Make this shit go
Yeah.
viral.
I'm gonna clip that and use it as a freaking ad.
Yeah.
Go viral, please.
Please help.
But yeah, no, that's awesome.
Yeah.
Our first podcast though is on the episode. I mean,
It's been such a journey, you guys.
Going back to more of your creative processes,
Yeah.
how do you feel that visual elements and sonic elements interact with each other in your own expression? Do you think one comes first, or do they kind of just like bubble up organically? This is kind of a deep meta question.
I like the bubble up organically answer because I don't know which one comes first. It's kind of like the chicken or the egg situation.
Yeah.
And it depends on the song or the project or the day or the vibe or the mood or where I am
Yeah.
at the time of whatever I'm doing. So I don't know. I think the visual aspect I'm leaning into more in my artistry is because writing music is easier when you're picturing where you are or visualizing who you're writing this for or
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, where it's gonna live.
environment.
right.
like Elixir was saying, she
Yeah.
likes to
Yeah.
imagine where the song was going to be, and then
Yes.
that you can create the environment around that.
Mhm.
Gives you a little template.
That's actually something Josh and I have been talking about a lot with creating music, is like each sound is like a character in a story.
Yeah.
So when you start writing a track, you're like kind of like filling out these character cards by like collecting like, your drums as a character, your lead synths as a character, your vocals as a character.
Yeah.
And like all of that depicts like the story as you go through the song.
Mhm.
And I think that, the concept of visualizing the environment as you're making the song like
Yeah.
is super powerful to adding into that intention.
And I think it's super important when you're like mixing a track too, and the
Yeah.
logistics behind making music. You have to picture where you want the band members in the arrangement you're making, whether it's dubstep or R&B or an acoustic song with a vocal and an acoustic guitar. How do you visualize that space when you close your eyes? Like, what do you see from the music you're hearing? Because that's super important. Like, do you want the lead singer in the front of the stage so everybody can hear them? Or do you want like 3 backing vocals and nothing else? You want those in the background?
Yeah, like who's the main
How do you want to
character?
hear it?
Yeah.
Me?
Yeah, of course. Yes.
Me.
Yes.
The main character of Ferry Boat, Brea Scow.
Yeah.
Yes.
I need a fairy name, so if anybody can help me out with that task.
I don't know. I think Brea is very fey.
Really?
Fey energy.
Ooh.
Okay.
Yeah, your whole aesthetic is fey vibes. Super fitting, ferry boat and everything. How
Thanks.
much into like meditation and stuff like that are you?
I would say I haven't been like actively meditating in my life as much as I have in the past. And when, I guess maybe that's not true. I'm like trying to decipher like how I used to meditate versus how I do now.
It's ever changing, right?
Yeah. Like a couple of years ago, I was really into the Wim Hof method where I just
Wow,
play
yeah.
a 11-minute video, 5 times a week on YouTube and just take that like intended time by myself to lay down somewhere. But now it's more like I like to journal and I like to go to a park by myself and just like really think about the introspective shit in my life and where I'm going, where I am, where I want to be, yada, yada. But I really like to journal. So that's been like my meditative process recently.
Nice.
But
Yeah,
I
there's
have,
active and passive forms.
Yeah.
right? Both are valuable.
I love meditation though. Like I think
Yeah.
it's super important for people and just taking time for yourself to be alone and reflect.
Mhm.
That's what this whole EP is basically about.
I was
Yeah.
about to shout it out for you too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We need to meditate. We got Brea's EP coming.
No, that was actually going to lead into my next question
Yeah.
because, you know, the name of it is Slow Down and the whole reason you're moving is slowing down. So
Yeah.
I figured that throughout these last 2 years while you're making these songs that you were taking time to sit with yourself and really process emotions. And
Yeah.
I just wanted to ask you, what were like key steps in that process for you that felt like really like clicked in for the music itself, like things you were doing with meditation or being present with yourself, feeding directly into your music?
I would say finding people to help me through that journey and also just letting things take their course.
Yeah,
There, you can't rush the timeline of anything.
of course.
You have to let things come to you and you have to like release things on your own time and decide some things for yourself. So there's a couple steps to that where I knew that I needed to like reflect a shit ton because the last 2 years was really it was really dictated by like one of my really good friends and collaborators getting murdered. And so like when that shit's taken away from you like
Yeah,
that
yeah.
and you know it's a definitive change in your life, there is no other option than to just like surrender and
Yeah.
just kind of, okay, let me just first of all acknowledge what happened, think about how that has impacted my growth, and let myself fucking just relax, hang
Yeah.
out a little bit, be with loved ones, spend time outside, like, you know,
Take it slow.
take it slow and slow
Mhm.
down and really just what do I want to do and what makes me happy and how can I get to that more? So it's that, and then it's finding people that you can share those moments with. I think
Yeah.
that is like so important because like I love to be alone. Don't get me wrong.
Mhm.
Like
There's a
I
balance,
would say
though,
80% of the time.
right? Yeah.
I love my alone time. But finding the people in life that you really connect with, that you can really be yourself with authentically, and especially if you're an artist of any kind, finding people to do that with, collaborate, even if it's going to a park and like doodling on a piece of paper together and just
Yeah.
talking about life or not talking at all, honestly. Did
Just
that
sharing
answer your
space.
question?
I think so.
Okay,
yeah.
cool.
Yeah. I
There's-
think community is huge. And that's
Yeah.
something that I also relate heavily with Slam specifically. Is like
Mhm.
when I moved up here, I've only been in Minneapolis for like maybe a year and a half now.
Yeah.
And I came from a small town in Iowa where I was deeply embedded in a community that was very intentional and took things very slowly. It was like 10,000 people that lived there, right?
Yeah.
So I moved up here. I was like, oh my gosh, there's cars on the road all the time. And
Yeah.
I could just feel all the energies and everything like that. And
Yeah.
when I finally was able to really like settle in with Slam and the community that exists here and getting closer with Neil and all the other homies of the Bass Bakery. Sorry,
Bass
guys.
Music Bakery,
Bass-
shout
yeah,
out.
yeah.
They're all out there. You can't
Yeah.
hear them, but there's like 3 rooms with dubstep and shit
Yeah.
playing right now.
Editing
Yeah.
their audio out
Yeah, it is.
as they produce.
literally. And if it wasn't for like Slam and the community that I found here, I don't know if I would have been able to grow as an artist myself.
Mm-hmm.
It's huge.
Low
Community's
key,
huge.
Slam
Yeah.
got me out of my rut and made me see that like it's not just you and a computer by yourself. It's like,
Yeah.
Yeah.
hey, there's a lot of people that care about this shit as much as you and are trying just as hard, and they're different levels.
Mm-hmm.
And I used to compare myself super hard when I got here because everyone in my class was all better musicians than me. I could DJ,
Yeah.
but they all were so fucking good at doing shit. And then eventually, when you stop comparing and going, I'm on my own journey, get out of that. You know, then you have a lot more fun doing it too, because it's
Yeah.
easy to think like, oh, Hugh fucking is way better at producing than me. But I'm like, nah, we're
He
different.
started at a different time.
He started when he
Yeah.
was 4 because he's a
Different.
nerd.
Right.
You, if
But
you
yeah.
see this, you're a nerd.
Yeah. It's okay. We love nerds here.
Yeah.
I'm
Yeah.
one. You're one too.
I am a nerd.
She's a
Yeah.
nerd.
Yeah.
Guilty as charged.
She's charged. You should see her management page books and shit. It's crazy.
Wait, what?
You're really organized. There we go.
Oh.
She's super organized.
Yeah.
There we go.
Thank you. I love a good notes app, note taking.
Like, what the fuck's he saying?
I just wanted to make sure we're on the same page. Like, I do not have management, although if you want to manage me, let's talk.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Amazing.
Because I need some fucking help here.
And we can go with management. So, what is your relationship with social media as an artist? How do you like do you like doing it, and or how do you like where it's at now and what you need to do with it?
Social media. What a trip. What a
Honestly.
gift and a curse.
Honestly.
Of mankind. I feel pretty good at where I'm at with social media right now. I know there are always room for like improvement, and I'm always like, oh, I could have done that better, blah, blah, blah. But I'm getting better as I get more into my artistry. Like when I first started and doing and going and looking back at how I was maneuvering social media, it was very like, I need to do this now. So whatever I need to do to get a fucking reel out there or TikTok or whatever's trending, I need to trend. I need to whatever. I need to do this. That's how I was handling it before. And since ferry boat and like slowing down with everything and really thinking about it, I'm just trying to be more authentic. I post a lot of stories about stupid shit that I see and do throughout the day and try to be funny because that's like what I like to consume is just dumb shit and funny things. And conspiracy theories and whatever. So I don't know. I'm trying to just be more like organic and authentic with it. And I feel like with the release of Slow Down, it's been really a good opportunity to reflect on that too, because like I said, there's room for improvement. I've kind of done, I don't want to say the bare minimum with that release, but let's be honest. I'm at the point where I feel really great about the project that I have, and I feel really great that it's out there. And I've posted, about it, but I'm not like trying to be in your face because that's just not who I am as a person. So, I could be more in your face. Like I could do that. But as far as like releasing it, I just put it on Spotify. I have not even like uploaded it to any other platforms right now, like YouTube or SoundCloud or Bandcamp, which, sue me. I should be doing that.
Slam lawyers. Sue Brea. She's not
independent artist. Who the fuck do I think I am?
It's just the thing is like with a lot of artists, they kind of find that mental block of even putting it out.
Yeah.
So putting it out into the world just kind of relieves that, and now you can figure out any ways to get people to attract to it, and you can just do that authentically still.
Yeah,
like,
and No, I was just gonna say like, and doing it the slow version.
Yeah.
And just like keeping to the same thing that I'm on every other level of my life is just like, I'm gonna release it to Spotify first, so that way I can get it to like the masses or whatever. And then I'll just release it to Bandcamp and SoundCloud and YouTube like when I get there. That's just how I'm kind of thinking about it. It's not like I'm trying to be a pop star. So I'm also keeping that in the back of my head. Like, where do I actually want to take this and how far do I want to go with it? I don't want to be an A-list celebrity. Like, I don't want to do that whole thing.
Yeah.
So it's like, I'm not trying to get there. I'm not trying to have everybody listen to my song. Maybe I should, but I'm just like, if you want it, it's there. And if you don't, that's cool, bro. Like, that's cool.
Honestly, that's how you find some of the best music, especially with like the indie R&B stuff. If you're like really in like crate digging and finding new music on Spotify, the algorithms, Spotify is controversial, but the algorithms,
no, like literally fuck Spotify.
yeah. But
My dad is stalking it though. I told him like, Dad, they take our money from the artist, and he's like, yeah, but I do get some of it. So I'm like, get the fuck out of here.
Oh my god!
And maybe we should all be taking that.
Yeah,
take notes from Neil's dad, everybody.
I was on the phone before the podcast with them. That's what we were talking about.
No. But what I was bringing up Spotify for is the fact that like I found so many amazing underground artists, electronic and not, like from like the curated playlists that their algorithms make. So I think starting there is a really solid platform to release on first.
And
like SoundCloud, sorry.
No, go ahead.
Sorry. SoundCloud, just like I feel like so many underground artists post on that first.
Yeah.
So I feel like being able to like put it on a platform that most just regular people are listening to, especially people that like the kind of music that you're making.
Yeah.
So I think it's more likely to be found that way too,
Yeah.
personally.
And I also have to just keep into consideration, I just released my first debut album with this band, and so, or with this like alias, Ferry Boat. And it's new and I couldn't submit it to Spotify playlisters because it was my first release. And so like taking all of that into consideration, I'm not expecting it to blow up. It's my first like release project, although I'm super proud of it and I love it so much, and I'm going to keep sharing about it because I have other things that I want to drop, like the videos that Neil and I have. Like maybe they'll be out by the time this episode is released. I don't know. I don't really have a plan on that yet, but just kind of like whenever it happens, whenever I get to it, I'm moving soon. So like taking that into consideration, like I have other life things going on around music, and I think it's really important to just keep that at the forefront almost, because the music will always be there for me. I will always sing. I will always like to make music. Now that I'm like in that, I can never like just let that go. So I'm just like taking it as it comes, and if somebody sees my music or it gets put on like somebody's Instagram story that has a lot of followers, or it gets picked up for like sync licensing or whatever the music does when you release it, like that's cool. Like wherever it takes me is, I'm not thinking about it too hard, to be honest.
You're at a point where like you're an artist, and so like just the act of creating is kind of the end is where it feels the best.
Yeah,
getting it to the people, like you can get shows if you'd like with your band, or you've already kind of put in the work to get the things you need. If you don't want to be a pop star, you're chilling, putting out music and letting it kind of come. And we're all still like, I'm not saying you're young, but you have plenty of time if you ever want to grind more, or if you just want to figure out just this flow. So there's no rush, and like that's right there. It'd be actually like knowing what you want with it. It's probably more important than being like I'm stressing yourself out because nothing's happening.
Exactly. And I feel like that has taken me so much time to get to that point of my artistry and my life in general, is being like, I like doing this. This makes me happy. Whatever comes out of that, I trust in it, and I trust the universe's plan or whatever.
Sometimes you take a sidecar and become a podcast host, you know? It's like,
yeah, exactly. You learn so much from every journey you take, and I was not expecting to find that like the music part of my life again from applying to a comedy club.
Yeah, right.
You know what I mean?
That was not it at all.
That was not in my plan, but I just was like, whatever happens, that's cool. And now look at me. Like, that's so fucking awesome. I reflect a lot, obviously. Like, duh, that's my whole thing. But when I reflect, when I reflect on like how I even got here, it was because I just trusted my gut, and because I just did what I wanted to do, basically, and didn't let people stop me.
Yeah.
And I had a lot of support along the way. Like, I found the support that I needed.
Yeah.
So
thanks, Dave, for the help.
Yeah.
Shout out to Dave.
Like, literally, so much. So much shout out to him. But yeah, I don't know. The social media thing, it's cool. It's cutesy sometimes. But it's also, I get sucked into that shit so easily.
So easy.
I almost want to just fucking delete.
I mean, that's what it's designed for. It's designed to keep your attention as long as possible.
Yeah.
So the fact that like artists are like kind of naturally kind of like against it, I think is really powerful. Like collectively, you see it on social media, artists is being like, I'm not falling into the rat race of just trying to make reels and trying to like blow up and be viral and stuff like that. And I think as long as we keep pushing against that current, being more authentic with our creativity, I think that like eventually social media is going to have to conform to what we're actually doing in the real world, and not just be this like clickbait thing where you're just scrolling for hours.
Yeah, we have to like actively push back against that though, because it's so easy to just get sucked into a 5-hour reel watching episode, and I'm just fucking
they're taking away our boredom from us, guys.
Yeah. I want to be bored again.
We need boredom. It helps us self-reflect. If you look at your phone, you're not getting that self-reflection inside of your bored time.
Watch this reel that we're clipping for this SlamCast episode, but after that, turn it off.
And doom scrolling. No.
Get off your phone.
Off the phone. Click. If we get one person to swipe off the app, we killed it. Let's go.
Yeah, honestly.
We have an ad that we run for SlamCast Reel, but then after they click on the link, it just like gives them a countdown timer to their phones exploding.
Oh my
God. We program that.
T and then blanks your phone.
Yeah. This is the last reel you will ever consume.
That might work though. I actually found like one. It's called End Your Doom Scrolling, and it's an account. and it'll just pop up something super interesting, and then it'll like right before it shows the hit, it actually like stops and goes, okay, once we show you this reel, promise you're gonna get off your phone. And I've actually popped off my phone a couple of times because and then it shows you the cool thing. You're like, that was a good reminder. Flip off. So hopefully this will work for you guys. We'll see.
Yeah. Get off your phone now. Do it.
Off. But finish this episode. You can just put it to the side.
Finish this episode. Yeah. But the podcast has been super reassuring on that topic too, because all the artists we talk to are just like, just be yourself. If you don't want to do it, you don't want to post that reel, you don't have to.
Yeah.
You have to find some other way depending on what your goal is with music.
Mm-hmm.
You have to perform live. Like you got to, if you want people to hear your stuff, you have to do something.
Yeah.
But if you don't, that's fine too. Like not everybody needs to hear what you're working on.
Yeah, exactly.
Or if you don't want them to.
Yeah. How much unreleased music do you have?
Well, I've been going through the beats that I have on my computer in the last couple weeks because I want to take the time away from the cities to work on those songs I haven't finished. And the ones that are good enough for me to want to pursue, there's like 12 maybe.
That's not bad.
So
that's
exciting.
Yeah.
But beyond that, I don't know, a couple hundred beats on my computer that I literally need to like go through and delete because I'm like,
she's gonna make an ambient album in the next when she gets back from Wisconsin.
Yeah,
you can check out Brea Ambient, ferryboatambient.com.
That is one of my goals.
Yeah, honestly, ambient music from you would be sick.
Mm-hmm.
I have some stuff started that I'm like really excited about.
Some of your songs, you just take out the drums and it's an ambient track. So
honestly,
yeah. So you were talking about working on music in Wisconsin, and you've talked about wanting to work on producing more yourself. How does that look for your live performances?
Ooh, good question.
Okay,
podcast host.
Yeah.
Oh no! Whoa, she's taking the reins.
Amazing.
Oops. So living in Minneapolis, I have the crutch of having an amazing and talented like backing band behind me. So I haven't worked on a lot of my set by myself because there's just always someone like extremely talented that wants to be on stage with me. And why wouldn't I take that opportunity? So going to Wisconsin and moving back home is like an opportunity for me to focus on my solo performances and my live set. I really want to hone in on an Ableton set that I can take anywhere in the world with me if I want to one day and like travel. And I have the freedom of like not paying rent for a while. Shout out to my parents and
shout out Mr. and Mrs. Scow.
Yeah, exactly. And with that, I like really want to take that opportunity to hone in on that side of my music because I will be forced to, and I think that's all I need is to like have that constraint and that limit.
Yeah.
There are musicians at where I'm from, but I could do that, I guess, if I really wanted to start another band somewhere else. But I don't want to do that. I want to like take that time for myself and really like figure out and get back into producing because I do miss that too sometimes. Like having Tyler produce that last EP was super nice. But I did miss a little bit of like
getting your hands
the control of it. I'm a control freak. Like I want to be able to perform by myself.
Yeah.
I can do it. I have done it, but I haven't like honed in on that skill. So I am excited to like get into that.
Get a chance to do some vocal effects. Use those in-ears. Get in there. Get in there.
I'm excited.
So are you planning on doing it straight from your laptop off of Ableton, or have you considered using a push at all?
I have a push.
Nice.
So when I literally ordered Ableton and a push to start.
Nice.
When I like was first starting in music because I needed to learn something through a hardware.
Yeah.
And excuse me. I don't know what that was, but the push made it so much more accessible to learn and to have fun. And I don't know music theory. I don't have any classical music training. I was not in band. I don't know how to play instruments. I only know how to sing based on like my ears.
Yeah.
I don't know music theory at all.
That's enough music theory to get into it. If you have a trained ear, you know?
Yeah. So Ableton Push really helped me with that. And I love making music with that still.
Yeah.
I have a I don't even know what it's called, honestly. I don't know how y'all remember the names of your hardware equipment. If you're like, oh, I use the SM58, blah, 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 blah. What? How do you retain that information?
I'm with you on that one.
AKI thing where you push the Coda has one.
Oh, APC-40.
APC-40.
Oh, yeah.
I have one of those.
Oh, those
So
are the shit.
I basically just use that for the knobs on it to
Nice.
make vocal
Yes.
effects
Oh, cool.
because
Yeah.
if anything, I would add the Ableton Push to a live set to have some MIDI instruments in
Yeah.
there or
Yeah.
like sample some things. But
If you're gonna be performing though, you're gonna be using the APC
Yeah.
yeah,
because the APC has the faders.
yes.
Those help out a lot.
Yeah.
With
Well, my thought for my Ableton set is I'll do it in the not in the session view, but in
arrangement.
arrangement
Doing
view
You still get the
because
faders,
oh,
and
true.
the faders on the
Yeah.
push are not fun to do live. I promise.
No.
You know, I don't like that.
No, that's the biggest thing. Even if you're going left to right, it's just the access to the instrument volume right away will be
Yeah.
lock you in a
Yeah.
lot quicker.
Yeah, so I'll
Don't
use
sell
the
that to me because I want it. Just
the
kidding.
APC-40.
Yeah.
No,
Sell it. Actually, I'm gonna buy Codas. So I need.
Oh, yeah,
I
do
need one
that.
really bad.
don't take
Any-
mine. You can't have it.
Nope.
Can't have it.
No, but you can use both of them for your live performance.
That's what I was thinking.
Because that's what I do for the Doe
Yeah.
show.
That's what my plan is because I just want to have everything in the arrangement view so I can just hit play and not worry about like DJing my stems because that sounds fucking like a nightmare
No,
to
do
me.
the arrangement way, especially.
Yeah.
It's a lot fun.
And then I can focus on my vocals and having fun with those effects and adding like a MIDI keyboard every once in a while with like the
Yeah.
Ableton Push where it's already dialed in to like some set up.
And you-
It just turns on to a specific key.
yeah, and if you have the doing the arrangement, you can like automate vocal effects a lot without having to
Automate.
do everything. So you
Thank
could like
you.
be singing, it'll turn on the reverb for the chorus and
Yeah.
the backing tracks and stuff.
And automate whatever instrument I want on the Ableton Push too.
exactly.
I'm
yeah.
gonna get into that shit.
Getting
Yeah.
into it.
Give me like choreography, but for music.
Yeah.
and I need
Yeah.
choreography too.
Oh, yes.
It'll be a whole thing. You guys
Yeah.
stay tuned.
Bria's
who
gonna
knows?
become a dancer now too. She's gonna have so much time.
Oh my gosh.
I don't
You're
know,
like
man.
painting on stage while also singing and dancing.
Oh,
I mean, that
Just
would be
painting
awesome.
somebody like body pasting.
the painting
Wow.
is upside down, and then I spin it around at the
Oh my
end. And it's
gosh.
a picture of
Oh my
your
gosh.
face.
Yeah.
Ah.
Yeah.
I don't know.
I feel like I've seen a drag show performance similar to that, but you know, of course, they're lip singing because
Yeah.
they're already doing so much. But I'm pretty sure I probably on some reel I saw on social media. I'm not gonna lie. Yeah, sue me. But no, straight up, they were painting upside down and dancing at the same time.
Yeah.
Which is a lot of it in of itself.
It's gonna take me a moment to get there, so give me like
Yeah.
20 years, and we'll see what happens.
It's okay. I'll start clocking you now.
Yeah, starting now.
I'm gonna start DJing and then have Mario Kart and we'll be playing and you can play me on Mario Kart while I'm DJing. Let's go.
Yes!
Oh wow.
Mario Kart versus the DJ.
Oh my gosh.
We thought
That's
about
actually
have you thought about doing that at our Taco
And
Tuesday?
you're-
Taco Tuesday takeover. We're Bass Music Bakery.
Taco Tuesday.
That's gonna be in July. So,
Ooh.
mhm.
Do you know what week?
It's the week that they do the Taco Tuesday because I think they do it once a month.
No, they do it every Tuesday.
Oh, then the second one I think.
Okay.
I don't know things.
Yeah.
You can find that information on Neil's Instagram page.
Yes.
Probably.
Yeah.
Probably.
One day
We're all like half anti social media.
Yeah.
So it's fine.
when I get to it.
I say that when I make like I make through 3 reels for like I make reels for my job for both podcasts plus make reels. Yeah, so
That's your job.
It's
We're
so
talking
casual.
Like personal
Yeah.
versus
Whenever.
work.
I'm glad I don't have to post it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We pay Josh to do that, which is awesome.
Nice.
Yes.
Not Jersh.
I was gonna say, wait, you Jersh?
Wait, there's multiple Joshes involved.
Yep, Josh Levine. He's the social media manager at Slam
Shout
Academy. Shout out. He's been doing a
out.
great job.
Ooh.
But yeah, Brea.
This is crazy.
Yeah.
Just
We're
crazy.
actually here.
Good.
This is happening.
It's really fun to talk to you guys.
Yeah, it's been a lot of
It's
fun.
a little weird over here by myself, but that's
Yeah,
okay.
I know you're cornered.
I never get a chance to really like talk about myself, so it's honestly been kind of fun. Not that
this
I
is
don't
perfect.
have an opportunity ever, but it's nobody's really like asking me these questions in depth. So it's been fun to like
This has been a lot of fun.
talk about that stuff and get introspective and deep as
Yeah.
fuck.
Deep as
Deep
fuck.
stuff.
Yeah.
Yes.
So
Life is crazy.
we're still going to ask this question of you now because I think it's getting close to the landing of the plane.
Ooh.
You feeling it?
Oh, I should have prepared for this part.
Oh snap! We're feeling about the. Unless there's a little. Anyone has anything to add? I think we're about to land the plane of the pod.
Okay.
And we usually like to ask the guests if they have any advice that they'd like to share to Slam or Slam's community, or anything they'd like to add to the pod.
I would say my advice would be to trust your gut and let yourself have some downtime so you can think about your life, where you want to go, and how you can get there, because it is obtainable. You can put anything into action that you want almost, and I think it's just helpful to trust your gut instinct. And also just take a break from substances once in a while, because like those can really cloud the vision sometimes. And although they can be nice to relax and unwind with your friends and whatever substance that is for you, but I think sobriety has been really influential on that journey as well.
Social media accounts for that too.
Yeah, social media is a little freaking drug. Take a break. Go outside. Put your phone away. Like don't take your phone with you wherever you're going. Don't let it be an option. Trust your gut, people.
Great advice.
Great advice. Thank you.
Beautiful.
Thank you. So it was good to talk to you, Brea. Everybody at Slam Academy, thank you for listening. That was Brea.
Bye,
Neil.
everybody.
I'm Haley.
Have a wonderful rest of your day. I'll see you in the next one. Thank you. Bye.
Bye, SlamCast. SlamCast.
SlamCast. SlamCast.
Thanks for watching SlamCast. Wasn't that a fun episode?
Want to become a member at Slam Academy? Go to slamacademy.com for more information.
Thanks for watching. Bye.
Bye.